Is that okay?
Mm-hmm.
All right. So now we're moving on to number 12.
Down here. Okay.
All good?
All right.
Are you good, Josh, or do you want us to?
I'm ready to go.
Okay. All right. So this is kind of like the first problem we did. We have to distribute that negative into both. Can you tell me what it becomes when you, on the right there, when you distribute that negative in?
Um, both numbers become negative.
Well, that's true in this case, but only because they're both positive. So can you tell me what to write?
-4 plus -2i.
Okay, or minus 2i. Yep, good. And then
That's
it's 6 minus 5i.
mm-hmm.
So it's 6 and minus 4. What does that become?
That would be -10.
Nope.
No. -2
You're
if we're
just you're
going
just
down.
guessing. I mean, it's just 6 minus 4.
Oh, okay.
Like,
Here,
don't
okay.
add things that aren't there. Don't take away some things that aren't there. What is 6 minus 4?
2.
2. Okay, and then it's minus 5i minus 2i. If you need to, you write it off to the side. What does that become?
They're both minus. That'd be, I want to say 3,
Nope. Try again.
-3.
So you feel like you're just guessing. Like they're both negative, so the answer is negative.
Right.
And then you
Right.
add them without the sign. It's like you owe someone $5, you owe someone $2, you owe them $7.
7. Oh. Oh, you're adding them. Okay.
Well, yeah, you are adding. I mean, you could write it this way. Maybe that. I mean, these are equivalent.
Oh, okay. Add them to 7. Okay. Hmm. Okay.
Okay, number 13. Are you ready for that? Is
Um,
that a yes?
Yep. I'm
Okay,
just
so
writing
you're gonna
things
foil.
down.
You're gonna foil this again.
Okay.
So 3 times 5.
Well, 3 times 5, 15.
Okay, 3 times minus 2i.
Mm, -9.
How did you get negative 9?
Wait, I think I'm getting things mixed up. 6. -6. Negative
Negative
6i.
6. Okay, 7i positive times 5.
That'd be 35i.
Plus 35i. 7i times negative 2i.
14i squared.
Negative 14i squared.
14.
Okay, and then I squared is really negative 1. So we're going to write this as negative 14 times negative 1. We're going to replace the I squared with negative 1.
Mhm. Oops. Okay.
What is negative 14 times negative 1?
That would, times would be just 14.
Okay. All right. Now, do you see any like terms in here?
I see 6i and 35i.
Negative 6i, though.
-6, and okay. Then 15 and 14, since they're
Okay.
both positive.
Well, since they're both non-I terms. Okay, so
Okay.
combine those. Tell me what you come up with.
15, 14. Mm, Plus. Mm, okay.
Do you have an answer for me?
I could get this here. I don't think it's no, it's not giving me an answer. So I'm just gonna say -6. That would be 29i.
Okay, part of it.
And then 29 -i. Negative 29i.
Does the 15 and the 14 have an I?
Yeah, that's 29.
But you said it with an I. Do these have an I?
Oh no, I was referring to the other. Um,
Okay, so there's your final answer.
okay, okay.
All right, so let's look at 14. So we're going to multiply the top and bottom by what's called the conjugate.
Mhm.
So on the top, we're going to FOIL. I want you to FOIL this for me, please. 3 times 5 is
3 times 5, 15.
15. 3 times 1I,
That'd be 3i.
okay. 2I times 5, what does that become?
10i.
10I. And then 2I times I,
2i squared.
2I squared. And then I squared is really -1, okay? You
Okay.
have to remember that. That's your responsibility. So what is 2 times -1?
2 times, that would be 2 or -2.
Which one?
-2.
Okay. You have 15 plus 3I plus 10I minus 2. Do you have any like terms there?
We have 3i and 10i.
Okay. So what does that become?
13i,
Okay. Anything else you can combine?
15 and 2,
15
-2.
and -2. What does that become?
13.
Okay. Yep. Now on the bottom here, I want you to FOIL the bottom, the 5I, 5 minus I times the 5 plus I. Could you FOIL that for us, please?
First, 5, 5. We have 25. So then outer would be 5i. I think so, right?
Okay.
And inner 5i, and
Nope.
then
And there's not 5I.
-5i.
There you go. That's better. Okay. And the
And
last,
then last would be I and I, which would be
it's
-I squared.
-I squared. Yeah. Right.
Okay.
All right. So let's take a look at that now. Come on, come over here. 25 plus 5I minus 5I. I squared is really -1.
Okay. And 5i and 5 -5i would be should combine 10 -10i.
How did you get that? One's
Right.
positive, one's negative.
Oh.
Sometimes you got to think of it in terms of money. You have $5. Negative means you lose it or you owe it.
That means it's just going to be I.
Nope. How
No,
much do you have left over?
0 if you give
Yeah.
all your money.
Yeah. It was 0i, but that's really 0.
Right. Okay.
So they just go away.
Then you have 25 -1, which would be,
Minus a minus one.
oh,
Minus a
yes, ma'am.
minus one.
I'm sorry. -1. 24 if we were minusing it.
It's minus a minus one. It's like
A
I'm
minus.
not going to not clean my room. Are you going to
Yes.
clean your room? If you're not going to not clean your room,
So it means it's a negative, but it's not a negative. So then 26?
yeah, it's a double negative.
No, no.
Okay, so now you divide each of these by 26.
Okay.
What does that reduce to?
2 and 2i.
Nope. The number on top is smaller than the number on the bottom.
13 divided by
It's a
26 would
fraction
be
is in front of you.
0.5,
Yeah, or 1/2
one
plus
half.
1/2 I. Okay, good. Any questions on that?
Let's see. So I just always have to assume like it's FOIL, or even if it doesn't tell me, I just have to
Yeah, you have to know
assume.
that. Well, you have to
Okay,
know because they're multiplying.
right.
Whenever you're multiplying, you FOIL, just like in the previous problem.
Hmm.
Okay, ready to look at 15?
Yep.
All right, so 15 is a difference of squares. It's really x squared squared minus y squared squared. It's really x squared minus y squared times x squared plus y squared.
Okay, let me write that down. Okay. All right. Okay.
Right, now there's a bit more to do because x squared minus y squared is also a difference of squares. So this one on the left here becomes x minus y, x plus y. The one on the right here is sum of squares, which there is no formula for.
Mhm. Getting all this down. And then this. Here. Whoops, okay.
That's your final answer, by the way.
Oh, okay. All right. Okay.
Questions on that?
Um, I mean, I guess I just have to still assume that would be whatever formula or whatever.
Yeah, it's just a difference of squares formula. We've covered that in previous lessons, so you can go back your notes, or if we have time at the end, we can look at it some more. But there's a lot here. That's why I'm just going through this one for you.
Okay, thank you.
This is sum of cubes.
Okay, so cute.
So it's really x cubed plus 3 cubed.
Hmm.
And for this one, I will write the formula because maybe you haven't seen it in a while. But it becomes a plus b, a squared minus ab plus b squared So that's x plus 3, x squared minus 3x plus 3 squared.
But that is the
You're just putting in that a is x and b is 3 into this formula here. You generally do simplify a little bit, like the fact that it's 3 squared on the end, you would turn to 9.
mhm. Uh, bring that down. Okay. Okay.
Any questions on that before we turn the page over?
I don't think so.
Okay. It's just an opportunity for us to pause and, clarify anything if needed. Does not have to be the case.
Mhm.
All right, so this is also another difference of squares problem. So I'm going
Okay.
to help here. I'm going to write what it is squared, and then I'm going to write the formula underneath. Right? So what I want you to do is tell me what to write to the right of the equal sign following the formula.
All right. Let me get the formula down here.
When you get caught up there. Yeah.
And then, so you want me to fill in the with letters instead of the with the numbers instead of letters.
That's right. Instead of A, what are you going to put in instead of A? What is your A in your problem?
Two,
No.
2x
Yes. And what is your
squared,
B?
3.
Good.
And then I think that would be 2x minus 3 and then 2x plus 3.
2x minus 3, 2x plus 3.
Great. Okay.
Okay, now we're going to set each of those equal to 0. 2x minus 3 equal to 0. 2x plus 3 equal to 0.
All right. Let me just write this down. 3 0 and then okay. All right.
Do you want to try solving these or do you need some help?
I assume we would plus 3 by both sides.
Yes, add 3 for this one, subtract 3 for this one. Yeah, so go ahead and see if you can work those out.
So then would be 2x equals 3, 3x equals subtract 0 by 3, -3. Okay. Okay, so then I have 2x equals 3, and then 2x equals -3. I don't know if that works.
So x equals 3 over 2. You have to divide.
Okay.
Keep going. You're done when x is by itself.
Okay. Now to divide 3 and 2, let's go here. Calculator would be 3 Oh, there we go. 3 and 2. Um, 2. 1.5 reduce.
Well, that's it. I mean, you can leave it as a fraction. That's okay.
Okay.
All right. Ready to go on to 18?
Yes, let me grab another piece of paper. Oh, correction. Okay, paper. Okay.
So this time we're going to diagonally multiply. We're going to take that 5 and multiply it by the x minus 3.
Mhm.
We're going to take that 8 and multiply it by the x plus 3.
Put down here.
Cross multiply, or sometimes you hear the word butterfly.
Right.
Okay, so I want you to distribute that 5 into both terms and tell me what you come up with.
Okay. We get 5x, and then 5 times 3 would be negative 15.
Okay. Now, it might be easier for you if you write plus negative 15. I'm not sure. We've
Okay.
talked a little bit about that.
Plus negative 15. And then would be 8x, and then plus, oh my bad, 24.
Okay.
24 b equals 8x 24. Okay.
Okay. So now to solve, you move from the smaller to the larger.
Okay. More double. Hmm. I don't think I quite remember to solve, but
So which is smaller, the 5x or the 8x?
5x.
So you're going to subtract 5x from both sides.
Okay. So 15. And then you're left with negative 15 was 3x was 24. Okay. So I assume we would be left with negative 15 equals 3x plus 24.
Good. And then you solve this the way we solved the previous problems, which is you undo addition and subtraction. So move that
Mhm.
to the, I'm sorry, negative 15, not to 15 next. You undo addition by 24 by subtracting 24.
Okay. All right. So negative 15 equals 3x. And then I assume we would divide 15,
Nope.
negative
You divide
15?
by the
No,
number in front of x.
3. Okay. Divide by 3 by both sides. And then 5, negative 5 equals x.
But you're subtracting 24 first. I never heard the result from that.
Oh, okay. Touching both sides. Okay. Thought we only subtracted 24. Okay, so let's subtract both sides. Negative 15 minus 24. That become negative 15. No, not 12. 15 subtracted by 4. Negative 39. That's
Okay.
what I'm getting here when we
And then you
when we have
and
negative
then you divide
15.
both sides by 3.
Mm-hmm. Negative 39. I'm trying to write this down as well. So 3x. Okay. And negative 39 divided by 3. Negative 13 equals x, I
Okay.
assume.
That's negative 13.
Negative 13 equals x. Okay. This is for 18. 13. Okay.
Let's look. Let me know when you get all that down. We'll look at number 19 next.
All right. Um, like this.
Let me know when you're ready for that.
Okay. Okay, I'm ready.
All right. So I'm gonna help here. This becomes x squared minus 9, x squared minus 4 equals 0.
Hmm.
These are each difference of squares. In fact, I'll even help here. It's x squared minus 3 squared and x squared minus 2 squared. Can you
Uh,
help me out by factoring each of these?
okay. Just getting all this down. Okay. The factor.
I'll even write the formula down over. A squared minus b squared becomes a minus b, a plus b.
Okay. Um, okay. Let's see. We have x squared minus 3 squared equals x squared minus 3 squared. And then that would be x squared plus 3 squared.
You're not recognizing what a is. A is not the thing that's a is just the thing under the square. B is just the thing under the square.
Oh, that'd be 13. Right.
No, there's no 13. What is the number under the square?
X,
Okay, and what about over here? What's the number under the square?
3.
Okay, so try again.
X minus 3.
Okay, that's
Okay.
correct. And
Equals x
times,
minus,
uh, not equals times.
what times? X minus b, I mean 3, and then x plus 3.
Okay, so the first one becomes x minus 3 times x plus 3.
Mm-hmm.
What does the next one become?
Oh, the next one. X minus 2, and then x plus 2. Put it down here.
Very good. All right. So now you have to set each of these equal to 0 and solve for x.
Okay. Let's plus 3. 3 by both sides. And plus 2 minus 2. Okay. Plus 3 equals -3, and then x equals 2, and then x equals -2. Okay. So I have x equals 3, and then
Okay,
x equals -3,
okay,
and then x equals 2, x equals -2.
all right, that is everything.
All right. I'll put that down here.
All right, so number 20, kind of a new problem for us. So this is actually the cube root of x minus 3 to the power of 4. And 625 can be written a couple of ways. It can be written as 5 to the power of 4. Actually, that is the only way. So we'll go with that. Is that okay?
Just writing everything down.
All right.
4. Okay.
All right. So now the next step here is to cube both sides. So this becomes x minus 3 to the power of 4 equals 5 to the power of 12.
Okay. 5. Oh, okay.
All right.
Mm-hmm.
Now, you undo the fourth with a fourth root, but it's
Undo.
plus or minus. So it becomes x minus 3 equals plus or minus. And this ends up being 5 to the power of 3. The reason is the fourth root is really to the 1/4 power.
Mm-hmm.
And then you multiply the exponent 12 times a fourth, which is 3. So it's x minus 3 equals plus or minus 125. 5 power 3 is 5 times 5 times 5. Let me know when you get caught up to here.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
There's really two problems here. It's really x minus 3 equals 125, and x minus 3 equals minus 125. Go ahead and
Mm-hmm.
solve those. I'm going to step away for 30 seconds, but I'll be right back.
Okay. Mhm.
All right, I am back. Let me know if you got those answers or any questions.
I'm trying to get them. I would assume we would subtract by 125 both sides, or 3. I would think 3.
You look at the side with the variable. That's what you manipulate.
So 3 plus, and then plus 3. Okay, then x equals 125, and then x, and then negative 125. That's what I
Is that
got.
your
I got
final? But
x
you're
equals
adding 3 to
1.
both. You're adding 3 to both sides. Like the number
Oh,
has
okay.
to change. It's not just one side.
Which would be 128.
Okay.
And then that would be for the negative. What would that be? If you 122, negative 122. Right.
All right. Any
Okay.
questions on that before we move on to 21?
Uh, so yeah, I guess we had to assume it would be a square root or cubed root.
Yeah. Well,
If we did it.
whenever it's an even root, it's plus or minus.
Okay.
A lot of students forget that.
Negative 122. Okay. And then that 21.
Right. You ready to move on to this one?
Mhm.
All right. We're first going to add the square root of 11x to both sides. Square root of 11x plus 5 equals 1 plus the square root of 11x.
Okay, let me get that down.
Next, we're going to square both sides. So on the left, it just becomes 11x plus 5. The square root is undone by the square. On the right, we have to FOIL.
Okay. Then B. No, never mind.
I'll help you with that.
Okay.
It becomes 1 plus 2 square root 11x plus 11x. Let me know when you get caught up here, please.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Uh,
All right, so
I
the
am.
11x's cancel.
Mhm.
When you subtract 1, you get 4 equals 2 square root 11x. And then you divide by 2 on both sides. So you get 2 equals square root of 11x.
Two. Okay. All right. That was interesting. Okay.
Now, to undo the square root, you square both sides.
Mhm.
So it's 4 equals 11x. And then you divide by 11.
4 divided by 11.
And that's just whatever that is, which is 4 divided by 11.
Okay. All right.
You know, when you get all that down,
Mm-hmm. Just write that down. Okay. So I was thinking we could move to 24 instead of 22.
sure. Yeah, we are running out of time, of course. All right, so 24. This is a grouping, factor by grouping. Oh no, it's
Mm-hmm.
a synthetic division. Never mind. Um, okay, so I'm going to quickly graph this.
Okay.
All right, so here's what we're going to do here. We're going to put this -1 in the box, and then we're going to write the coefficients 2, -3, -8, and -3 to the right of it, and then a line right here. So
Mhm.
if you're wondering where this come from, that's the x cubed, that's the x squared, that's the x, that's the constant.
Okay. Mhm.
Okay, now synthetic division, you start by bringing this number down. You bring the 2 down.
Right.
Then you take this 2 and multiply it by -1. What does that become?
That'd be -2.
Put that result there.
Okay. Let me just get that down to -2. Okay.
So that's -5 because you're adding. Now you take
Mhm.
the -5 times -1. What does that become?
-5. I mean, 5.
Okay,
So
and
multiplying.
you're adding, so that's -3.
Mm-hmm.
What is -3 times -1?
3.
Right, put a 0 there. If you get a
Okay.
0, that means that it is a root. You found that negative x equals -1 is a root. That corresponds to the factor of x plus 1. So now we're going to try um, the next 0, which I'm getting from the graph, by the way. There's no magic here. It's just it'd be really hard to do otherwise. Steps again are to bring the first number straight down.
Mm-hmm.
You're really adding 0. That's why I bring it straight down. Take that number 2, multiply by 3.
Would be 6.
6. What is -5 plus 6?
Uh, 1.
Okay. Take the 1 and multiply it by the 3.
That would be 3.
Okay. And you got a 0 here again.
That would be the root.
So this is x equals 3. That corresponds to x minus 3. So
Mm-hmm.
far we have the factors x plus 1 and x minus 3 from these two here. And then
Okay.
this right here becomes 2x plus 1. And we would need another lesson to sort of know why, but we'll just go
Okay.
with it.
All right. Interesting. Create a graph. Okay.
Let me see if I can maybe set up these two word problems for you.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so the number 260 is separated into 2 parts. So we're going to say x plus y equals 260. The first part, we'll call the first part x. X is 8 more than 3 times the second part. So
Mm-hmm.
that's a system of equations that you can solve or find a way to solve. And then let me do the same for 26 here. We'll set this up for you. One hour is never enough for us, as we find out, but hopefully
Right.
you're doing okay.
Mm-hmm.
I wish I could give you time from other students. Sometimes they cut them short, but it doesn't work out that way.
It's all
Contractor
right.
installing carpet in a new house. The rectangular living room has an area of 96 feet. The length, we'll call the length y. Well, no, we'll call the length, yeah, we'll call the length y. It's 12 feet less than 3 times the width. So the area, which is 96, is equal to x times 3x minus 12. You're going to solve this quadratic.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. All right. That should set you up for being able to knock the rest of this out. So